Have you ever wished you could get a sneak peek at your board exam paper before you even walk into the hall? Well, today we're going to break down how one YouTuber claims he can do exactly that for the 2026 ICSE English Literature exam.
I mean, that's the million-dollar question, isn't it? The dream of cracking the code, knowing exactly which chapters to pour your heart into, and just walking into that exam with total confidence. Is that just a fantasy? Or can experience and pattern analysis really give you that kind of an edge?
Well, one creator is making a very, very bold claim. He says that thanks to more than a decade of teaching, he's figured out the pattern. He's confident he can predict the key chapters for the upcoming exam. So let's dive into his theory. So, why is a prediction like this so appealing in the first place? Well, it cuts right to the heart of the challenge every single ICSE student faces: a massive syllabus and a clock that just will not stop ticking. And here's where the pressure really builds. You've got 5 stories and 5 poems. That's 10 chapters you're responsible for. But let's be real, they're not all equal. The real game is figuring out which of those 10 are going to show up as the big ones, the long answer, 16-mark questions that can literally make or break your final score. And that's exactly where the channel Fly High Commerce Point comes in. The creator there isn't just making a few suggestions. He's presenting his analysis as a near certainty, a strategy designed to solve this exact problem for students. And get this, he's not just kind of hopeful about his predictions. He is claiming a 99% accuracy rate. Now, if you're a student drowning in exam anxiety, a number like that is really hard to ignore. And he backs this huge claim with his credentials. In his own words, he says, "I'm telling you this from 11 years of experience." So he's positioning himself as this seasoned guide, someone who's seen these patterns play out year after year and has finally cracked the code. All right, so what are these so-called game-changing predictions? Let's get right into the specifics. And we'll start with the prose section, the 5 short stories. Okay, here's his core strategy for the stories. He says to focus everything on 3 specific ones, with the photographer, the girl who can, and the pedestrian. These are your 16-mark question contenders. As for the elevator and the last lesson, he predicts they'll probably just be for 1-mark MCQs, so you can study them way less intensively. Now, it's not just about the stories. He applies the exact same logic to the poetry section, once again, narrowing your focus from 5 poems down to just 3 essential ones. So, according to his analysis, the big-ticket poems are The Haunted House, When Great Trees Fall, and The Power of Music. These are the ones he's telling students to master for those long answers. And then you have The Glove and the Lions and A Considerable Speck, which he thinks will just be for 1-mark questions. You see the pattern, right? Go deep on 3 and just skim the other 2. Okay, so this is all really interesting, but what do you actually do with this information? Well, the creator doesn't just drop these predictions and leave you hanging. He translates them into a really concrete step-by-step study plan. It's a pretty simple 4-step process. First, you pull out those 6 focus chapters, the 3 stories and 3 poems. Step 2, you go deep on those 6, preparing for any possible 16-mark question they could throw at you. Third, you just give the other 4 chapters a quick look over, just enough to handle a simple multiple-choice question. And finally, of course, he recommends following his channel for more revision videos built around this very strategy. When you boil it all down, this whole approach is about one thing: efficiency. It's a classic case of working smarter, not just harder. The entire goal is to channel your limited study time and brain power into the areas that are predicted to give you the absolute biggest payoff in your final marks. Which brings us to the bottom line. Is this a genius study hack, a way to maximize your score when you're under immense pressure? Or is it a really high-stakes gamble that could leave huge gaps in your knowledge, all for the sake of a grade? It really makes you think about the purpose of an exam. Is it just to pass the test, or is it to actually master the subject? I'll leave that one with you.